Hi, everybody. My name is Brew. I'm the founder of Empowered for Balance. I'm a life balance strategist, a certified wellness coach, and a certified women's empowerment coach. So I was having a conversation with my client the other day, and this client is a woman who is working very hard, to help financially at home, has 4 kids, is trying to upgrade education-wise, and is doing many other things, like trying to keep the home, all that. But deep inside of her, she felt guilty, right? And the guilt was coming from the fact that she feels like she's not good enough. She's not doing a good job as a mom. Okay. Anytime somebody even gives her a compliment and tells her, oh, you're a great mom, you're doing awesome, or maybe, oh, you're an amazing woman, she just couldn't even accept that compliment because that guilt was deep-seated inside of her, and she felt like she's a fraud. So she felt like everybody thinks I'm doing well, everybody thinks I'm awesome, everybody thinks I'm good, but deep inside of me, I know that very soon, if they should find out how bad I am as a mom, they're all gonna hate me. So she had some form of imposter syndrome. Realized that, this client is similar to what a lot of us women have faced at some point in our life, or even are facing now. So I wanted to share that with you today, talking about mommy guilt and self-compassion, okay? We live in a society where women are not, the woman today has a lot more responsibilities than the traditional woman of yesterday. And many of us women, in as much as we're trying to, build a home and take care of our kids and, support the home and build our families, we still have to work jobs. Some of us are full-time workers, some of us work part-time, some of us are business owners, because financially we need the money, right, to support the family. And a lot of us women who have to be away from our kids for a while because of work sometimes have this mommy guilt. A lot of us also women have this mommy guilt because we feel like we are not living up to a certain standard that has been set for us. And this usually happens to women who are from societies that have traditions that women are supposed to live up to. Okay. And so because we are not able to live up to that specific tradition or that specific picture that has been shown to us as women, we tend to be so hard on ourselves just because we cannot live up to that standard. Another thing is that, because of us trying so hard to live up to this standard of the societies or the cultures that we come from, we also overstretch ourselves because we're trying so hard. It's like a target that you're trying to hit. And because you're not able to hit that target, you're trying so hard to reach for it, because, sometimes I have something on the table and my son or my daughter wants to pick it and it's way up high and they literally have to reach out and stretch their hand so they can reach it. And sometimes you just can't reach, even after stretching and stretching and stretching, right? So that's what we are doing. We are trying so hard to reach this standard that, has been set for us, and we are stretching ourselves, taking on things we know we can handle, overdoing it, and it's just causing a lot of burnout, a lot of unfulfillment, a lot of, again, the guilt I'm talking about, a lot of tiredness, stress, and it's hard, right? If you're a woman out there and you're going through this, I hear you, because it happens to me too. And it used to happen to me a lot, before I found out about the importance of self-care and not defining our self-esteem by a certain standard that society has set for us. You're not a bad mom or you're not a bad woman because you cannot live up to that standard that society has set for you. No, you're not. And you're not a bad mom or a bad woman because you have to go and work and take care of your kids and you're not being a certain woman that the culture has set for you. You're not a bad woman. You're not a bad woman because you're not able to do everything you want to do for your kids. No, you're not, right? That mommy guilt or that guilt shows up because we're so focused on that target that we're trying to hit. And because we cannot hit it, we feel like we failed. But do you realize that in as much as you haven't been able to hit that target, or you haven't been able to reach that standard that you really want to get to, you still have made some strides? Because in as much as the harder you reach, the more you get closer to it, right? So you may not be there yet. You may not have achieved it yet. You may not have reached it yet. You may not be the perfect woman from your culture or from your society, but you're still awesome because you're trying so hard and overstretching yourself and going over your boundaries just to achieve this thing. That shows how hard how much you're willing to put your time and energy into it. But you're not a bad person. So you want to give yourself a lot of self-compassion. Because first of all, you're tired, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you're overstretching yourself, trying so hard. So already physically, mentally, emotionally, you're drained. And then on top of that feeling drained, you're adding on top of it that guilt. And that guilt is like this also the last salt drop on the meat or the icing on top of the cake. That even makes your level of unfulfillment worse. If you're not able to get to that place where you understand that you may not be successful as you expect yourself to, but you're doing amazing and you are trying, you're making little steps, right? So if you're able to get to that place of self-compassion, you're able to lift that guilt off yourself. And then that way you can focus more on doing what you need to do for your wellness and to refill yourself, and not to try to live by societal standards, but rather do your best within your abilities, within your resources, and within your circumstances. Because we all have different circumstances. We all have different situations. Some women are doing much better than other women, maybe because they have more resources at hand. We all have different circumstances, so we shouldn't expect all of us to get to the same level at the same time. We all have different journeys, and we all have, different purposes also. So we need to realize that we are all unique in our own way. So yes, the societal standards are there to guide us, but it doesn't mean that every woman has to be exactly a certain type of way, because we are all different. We all have different temperaments. We all have different talents, gifts, opportunities, limitations, disadvantages, disabilities. We are all different and unique. So let us give ourselves a lot of self-compassion, and let us give ourselves a lot of self-love, focusing more on what our unique circumstance is and how we are, putting in our resources, or how best we're using our resources to live life. My daughter always comes to me and sometimes she'd tell me, oh, my friend did this, and how come I don't have that? Oh, my friend's mom bought her that, and how come I don't have it? Oh, my friend did that, and how come I don't have it? And I always tell her, honey, you don't need to feel guilty for it, because it's not a competition. You're different. Your resources are different. Your home situation is different. So it's not a competition, all right? So give yourself a lot of self-love and a lot of self-compassion, a lot of it. a lot and a lot of it. Don't heap on top of the stress and the burdens and everything you're carrying, that burden of guilt. And that guilt, I always say it, is what the devil always uses on us. And he uses that to create the battles of the mind inside of us. And so, in as much as you're trying so hard and you're doing so well to be good and to move away from even your past mistakes, the devil will always show up and tell you, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, there's nothing good about you. Oh, you failed as a mom, and look at your dishes. They're sitting there for 3 days and you haven't done it. And so it means that you're a failure. Oh, look at your son, or look at your daughter. Oh, last night you didn't even brush your son's teeth and yet you call yourself a good mom. Or, there's so much of that, the battles of the mind. I don't know if you can identify with it. Probably you are fine, but I will tell you, I go through it also sometimes. So, oh, look at you, look at your kid, look at your room, you look at the paper on the floor. Your room is not even spotless. And so these are some of the thoughts. And if you can identify with me, just hit like, just comment, let me know, And so it's not an easy situation for us moms or us women who go through these battles of the mind. And it's something it can lead to a lot of mental health issues, So we want to make sure that we are noticing it when they show up and knowing them for what they are. Because if not, we get sucked into it. And then they send us down a road of, again, the guilt, the guilt. And it sends us down the road of, low self-esteem, down the road of low self-love, low self-value, unfulfillment, right? So let us see them for what they are, and let us realize that we are all unique in our circumstances and nobody is perfect. All right. Hey, if you're a mom and you can identify with what I'm talking about, these are everyday things I'm sharing here. I'm just having a chat with you. There's nothing, I have no notes. I'm just flowing. But if you're a mom here and you can identify with even a little bit of what I'm talking about, you're like, Alma, I hear you. This happens to me sometimes. I'm trying so hard to keep up with everything that I have to keep up with. But deep inside of me, in as much as sometimes I have 2 successes, and the one thing that wasn't unsuccessful just comes to overshadow the whole thing that I've done, or even the 2 successes, that I can't even enjoy the 2 successes because I'm so focused on the one thing that's not working. Or maybe you're like, Alma, it's hard. I get these thoughts also, things are not perfect and I'm trying so hard, and God knows I'm trying really hard. And it's just not, perfect. And because of that, I beat myself down. And even if you just want to have a conversation and you're like, Alma, let's talk, right? I just want to invite you to a free strategy session with me. Go ahead and book the strategy session by going to empoweredforbalance.com/free session. And in that session, we can talk about what's going on with you. You can share with me the thoughts that are showing up for you, and the guilt trip and what's going on inside of you. And we can try to figure out where this is coming from and see how we can direct you to get the support that you need, right? Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button, because that's how you're going to get notifications every week when we upload new episodes. And don't forget to follow us on social media. It's Empowered for Balance on most of the platforms: Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. All right, again, my name is Alma Brew, your Life Balance Strategist. And thank you for listening to me. I hope to talk to you soon.